July 2nd, 2021. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 236 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Mike, how is your health?
Well,
how are you
okay.
feeling?
It's fine.
It's okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
You seem okay now.
Yeah, I'm fine. I
right.
was just having a few days of not feeling well.
All right.
And this morning I actually didn't feel well. I feel fine now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Something
I
you ate,
don't-
maybe?
Could have been something I ate. My wife and daughters are out of town for a few days, so I've been eating weird stuff.
Yeah, see, there you go. I bet that's a big part of it, right?
That could have been part of it. I haven't been sleeping well either.
Okay.
So, and working a lot. So there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, it's probably just been Taco Bell after Taco Bell, right?
No.
You're not getting any
No, the
home-cooked
Padres
meetings.
are hitting home runs like crazy, Mark.
yeah.
It's free Jumbo Jacks.
That's right.
I've eaten a lot of free Jumbo Jacks.
Okay. I guess that's just as good, maybe is the right word. I don't
like
know.
the Jumbo Jack.
It's okay.
I like it.
The thing is, I have to have cheese on mine.
Yeah, see,
and so you got to pay more.
Yeah.
It's not free anymore.
I don't like the cheese.
I know you don't, because
I like real cheese. I don't like that processed.
Oh, you don't like American
stuff.
cheese?
Well, it's not American cheese. Okay?
What is it?
It's some processed dairy product.
That's what American cheese is.
It's processed dairy product. I like if you put cheddar on there, or actually a nice pepper jack. is
Yeah,
what
I know.
like.
That's your big cheese, isn't it?
I like
Pepper jack.
I love pepper jack cheese.
Next time you go through the drive-thru, see if they'll put a slice of pepper jack on there.
I'm not paying extra for that.
Oh, it's okay. They're going to say no anyway. So.
Yeah, we don't carry that, sir. This is Jack in the Box. We carry only processed. It's not even a cheese product. I don't know what that is.
I'll have your total at the window. All right. Well, the big news, at least coming out of Vegas since our last episode, is that Resorts World has finally opened on the location of the old Stardust Hotel.
Yeah.
And the initial reviews are pretty strong. Have you seen any pictures or videos of the place
I've
at all?
seen pictures
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks very nice. And it's got great reviews so far,
Yeah.
right? I haven't heard anything bad.
Other than, the initial opening day issues,
It's
that's
busy.
always a problem, especially if you're trying to stay in the hotel.
Something that big.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just opening. I mean,
Yeah.
things are going to happen.
Yeah.
The only issue I have is why didn't they call it Stardust?
Well,
I love that. I love the old Stardust.
yeah,
Even their logo was cool,
Yeah,
right?
that was-
I thought for Vegas, that's the perfect thing. The Stardust.
yeah. Well, I agree. Stardust is maybe the great lost Las Vegas casino. That seems to be the one that always comes up, and I put that on my list too.
Right.
As,
It just
one of
seems
the
like
greatest.
the names of the casinos in the past were better. The Dunes, the Stardust. I mean, Resorts World.
Yeah, it's almost
Really?
cheesy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds like a cheesy place, but it's
Yeah.
actually very nice.
Yeah,
you see the
if
pictures
you
of it.
knew nothing about it and somebody
Yeah.
said, "Oh, Resorts World," you're thinking, "Great, a couple of RVs in a circle," outdoor toilets. I mean, that's what it sounds like. Why did they name it Stardust or
Yeah.
the Dunes?
Now
or
they might not have had the rights
even
to those
Sahara,
names.
some
Well,
of the
Sahara already exists. What do you
I know,
say?
but I mean names like that. Old
the
names
old
like
Aladdin
that. Yeah,
and
the
Sands
Aladdin,
and,
the
yeah.
Sands. I don't know. There's something about those names. Maybe we're jaded because we actually been to those places.
Well, from a gambler standpoint, the interesting thing to us is that they are really pushing cashless wagering. There's been a lot of talk about that over the last few years.
Right.
And they're really going all in at it. Now, what you do is you apply for their Players Club, and then you have an app on your phone, like this virtual wallet. And you put money on the wallet, like
Right.
at their, guess at their Players Club.
You have to fund it. It's like
fund
having a marker.
Yeah, it's very much like that.
It's just
right.
like having a marker, but someone can do it without getting a line of credit. You can do
Yeah.
it for smaller amounts. So you don't have a $20,000 marker. You can put in $200.
Well, and the nice thing is you can use it at the slot, right?
Right.
You use this virtual wallet to load money onto the slot.
Right.
And then when you're done, when you cash out, you actually have a choice. You can have the balance go back onto your wallet.
Right.
Or you can just get a regular voucher, a ticket in, ticket out voucher. Now, the thing that I found interesting is that you can also do that on table games. So you could go up to a blackjack table, use this virtual wallet, right? And then they give you real physical chips. You play blackjack.
Yeah,
the
is there
way you would
is there a
normal.
scanner or something? I mean, how does that work at the?
Yeah, I'm
I
sure.
mean, does the dealer pull out some scanner and scan your?
Or maybe you run your phone over something, but yeah, it
must be
deducts it,
something,
and then I'm
yeah.
sure they get some kind of feedback, and then they know how many chips to give you.
Right.
And then again, when you cash out,
Right.
they'll either give you chips, and you just go to the cashier as usual, or they can put it back on the balance on your wallet, or you can get a ticket in, ticket out voucher at a table game. Now, what I like about that is the cashier situation is the nightmare. That's the thing I hate most about the casino.
Right.
Is a cashier. And we've had some terrible experiences here recently, just at Harrah's Southern California. So if I can get a voucher at a table game, instead of having to deal with chips and wait in line, just go to machine.
So how's that going to work when your voucher's for like $1,400? And you go to the machine and they want to print you up a W.
No, it's not like that because you're leaving a table. It's a single payout on a machine that's over $1,200. It's not a voucher that generates it.
A lot of those machines won't take a voucher over $1,200.
Well, certainly the ones at Harrah's. I'm assuming that at Resorts World, that's going to be a higher maximum.
Now, what machine do I take my $12,000 voucher to? And then you're carrying it, and you've got to like physically look at it the whole time you're walking because you're afraid you might drop it.
Well, okay. I think most of our listeners are not taking $12,000 vouchers to machines, Mike.
You might be if you had a nice streak at the blackjack table.
That sounds like a Dr. Mike problem. Okay. All right. If I'm cashing out for those amounts, I'll take the chips. I'll go to the cashier. Yeah. All right. Okay. But seriously, even if, I'm assuming you can get the voucher, even if you're not using this virtual wallet, right? Because you can still play as normal. Buy in with actual cash. Get chips. But then if you can, it's like, okay, I'm done playing blackjack. Here, I've got $250 in chips. If they can give you a voucher right there and it doesn't take too long, and then I can go to a machine instead of standing in line, I'm all for it.
It's all very nice, Mark, until somebody steals your house. Okay?
All right, we're not.
I could sit here and talk for an hour about how technology is great until you're screwed.
Oh my God.
And I mean, I just see all these new things and I understand all your points, but I can just see how at some point somebody's going to get their identity stolen, their house is going to be gone, they're going to be living. And my advice, if that happens to you as a listener of this podcast, you directly contact Mark. He's got a downstairs granny flat. You're more than welcome to stay there.
You should have heard the lecture I got from Dr. Mike on the drive home last week. Oh my gosh. I'm just sitting there. Oh,
Yeah, technology's great until you're screwed.
All right. Well,
I'm still mad the Bank of America by my office isn't open.
Yeah, you have a right to be mad about
until that opens, I am down on technology.
All right. Well, I'm looking very much forward to seeing Resorts World, not just this whole, virtual cash kind of a thing, but I'm still looking forward to going because it looks like a great place.
Yeah, I'll go, but I won't be happy until either the bank next to my office reopens or they rename it something nicer than Resorts World.
All right. Yeah. Don't hold your breath on either one of those. Now, I did send you a picture of the craps table in the high limit room.
Right, which every casino
Resorts
should
World.
have.
Yeah, I agree. That's, we don't see a lot of that, even in Las Vegas.
Yeah, they should have a high limit at every casino.
A high limit craps
at every casino in a high limit room. Even if it's like, okay, that's normally we play $1 craps. We have a $5 table in the high limit room.
That'd be at Golden Gate.
Yeah, at Golden Gate or something like that. Yeah, then we have a $10 table over in the high limit room.
Well, this table looked great. Now, it was a smaller table. It was actually for 8 players maximum, 4 on each side.
Which would be nice, too.
Yeah, it still had 3 dealers.
Right.
But, yeah, it looked very nice. Now, it did appear that it was a $100 minimum game. So, I mean, that's seriously high limit. I might, go in there and watch you play a little bit. But
you could play. The luck you're having, you should be playing at a $100 table. I'll tell you what, Mark. We need a high limit craps table at every casino. There should be a timer on your roll. I mean, you have 2 seconds to pick the dice up and throw them. That's it. Boom, boom. It's like a shot clock.
A 2
It's like a shot
timer.
clock. Yeah, it's like a shot clock. You've got 2 seconds to pick those dice up and throw them.
All right.
And no stupidness.
No, stupid. How do they register that?
There's just a guy. No, that seems pretty stupid to me.
So
You're
it's a
out.
judge. All right.
Yeah, it's a judge.
All right. Well, a while back, shortly after Encore Boston Harbor opened, some blackjack players filed a lawsuit against the casino claiming that certain blackjack games should have been paying 3-2 on blackjacks, but instead they were paying 6-5. And we actually talked about it. If you want to listen to our original discussion on it, it was back on episode 187. But basically, they were basing this on some wording in the Massachusetts Gambling Commission rules. And when you read the rules, they're very poorly written. It's actually sort of ambiguous, or it doesn't make sense. It looked like the intent of the rules was that 6-5 games could only be on 1- and 2-deck games, and that all the rest of the games had to be
multi-shoot
3-2.
games had to be 3-2.
But if you,
that makes sense.
Okay,
actually.
but that probably was the intent. But if you actually read the words, that's not what it said.
Oh, so this is a situation where somebody made a law who knows absolutely nothing about what they're making the law about?
Well, it was rules. I don't know if it was a law, but the rules were
so
a little
somebody
vague
made
or
a
ambiguous.
rule
Yes.
about something they know absolutely nothing about. Well, that's weird. That would happen.
Well, anyway, at the time we didn't.
Must be a technology error.
We didn't think that the players had much of a chance in this lawsuit, and in fact, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court has ruled against the players. And one of the things that they mention is that the layouts on the games clearly stated blackjack paid 6-5.
Okay.
You regardless of what the Massachusetts Gambling Commission rule said, or even what the intent was.
Right.
It was printed on the tables. That's one of the
So what they're
rules
saying is the player should be smart enough to actually see written on the table, this plays 6-5, and then you can decide whether you want to play there or not. Doesn't matter what it's supposed to be.
Correct.
It says right there it's 6-5. So if you don't like that, keep moving.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. You're a little hot today, aren't you, Mike?
I'm a little hot. I'm up for all the stupid talk, okay?
Okay. Well, anyway, we wanted to follow up on that. And sure enough, that lawsuit was tossed out by the Supreme Court. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, we got a lot of voicemails, so let's get going. First up is William.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is William from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm going to call in with a trip report a little bit later, I hope. But I had a question. We don't have casinos here in Texas. I'm kind of torn on that. I don't really think I want them. We can go up to Oklahoma if we want to. Their casinos are okay. We don't do it very often. But I do go to Vegas at least 3 times a year. I'm 47 now. I've been doing that since I was 18 or 19. So that's probably close to 90 times. It's crazy to think about that. And I absolutely love it. My wife loves it now. And I don't want to take away from that. I don't want to. I'm afraid if we had local casinos, certainly it would affect the bankroll, so I wouldn't be able to go to Vegas as much. But I know you guys really enjoy going to your local one. I know y'all don't go to Vegas as much as you used to, but I don't know other things can affect that. Kids, getting married, all that kind of stuff, because I know my kids are about to get into sports age where it's going to be harder to get away on the weekends. But I guess just touch on that if you would. Does it take away if we were to get them? And I don't even really think it's being talked about right now, us getting casinos, but I'm just curious. I don't really think I want them. What are y'all's thoughts? Do you still enjoy going to Vegas as much when you do go? Because I just don't want it. It's probably our favorite. There's just nothing better. Somebody asked me a question the other day, like, what's your favorite Saturday? Well, the best Saturday is waking up in Vegas, not hungover, when you have still got some bankroll, you could do anything. Sorry, I'm on a bumpy gravel road right now, but anyway, that's it. That's on that, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that is the best Saturday.
That is a good Saturday.
It's like, okay, I'm not leaving. I'm not going home today.
Yeah, I feel
I've got
pretty
the whole
good.
day. Yeah,
I didn't overeat. I didn't get drunk so much that I, have a huge hangover.
Yeah.
And I've got money.
Yeah.
And I'm in Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get any better than that.
I agree. And we will hear from William again a little bit with a trip report. I will admit, and I think you're the same, Mike, Vegas is maybe not quite as special for us as it used to be because in the old days, it used to be the only time we could really gamble.
Right.
There weren't full-blown casinos here. Now we're going to the casino every week, playing a game that we love.
Right.
So from that aspect, it's not as special. But I'll tell you, Vegas is still special to us because when we're there, it's a gambling trip. We're
Right.
gambling, 24/7, right? And it's easy to move from casino to casino. We have choices, a lot of different games we can play. Plus, I mean, we've got this podcast now, so, we're meeting up with listeners. There's usually more to do when we go there.
Right.
So,
Well, here's the crux of the matter.
all right.
It's okay to have casinos. So even for William, if Texas were to get casinos, it could still mean that, this weekend he could maybe go for 2 hours to his local casino and play a little bit in between his kids' soccer game and baseball game. He could actually go and play or do whatever. But it would still be special for him to go to Vegas because you're getting away from your home.
Right. It's
Unless you live
it's a vacation.
Unless you live in Vegas.
Right.
Even if you're only going for the weekend, it's like a mini vacation. You don't have to think about your work. You're away from your home. You're not worried about anything. You're just thinking about gambling and going to a show or doing whatever you like to do. So it's always going to be special.
Yeah.
For me, just getting away from your house.
Yeah.
Sometimes is special.
Sure.
Even if you drive up to LA for the day. Well, I've been to LA 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But it's still fun to go up there to just do something, right? Something out of the ordinary that you don't do every day. But if you have casinos locally, you can still go when you want.
Well, and I'll tell you, Mike, I'm sure we've got a lot of listeners out there who love going to Vegas.
Right.
Have a local casino that they never go to.
Right.
Because that just
Sure.
doesn't do it for them.
Right. Yeah. Well, if your interest isn't strictly gambling,
Right.
your local
That's some of it.
casino
Yep.
doesn't have that much to offer you.
Right.
Because,
That's
they
probably
might have
true
a
too, yeah.
restaurant and they might occasionally have a show, but it's not every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're in Vegas and tonight, let's go see a show. We've got 20 choices.
Yeah.
No, your local casino once a month might have some entertainment.
Yeah.
And, other than the bar, but, there's plenty of bars.
Right,
you can
right.
go to any other bar if you want to sit and drink.
Yeah.
So, your local casino, it's not the same experience.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing like Vegas.
No,
Yeah.
it's like apples and oranges, really.
I think so too, yeah.
Why not have both?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you have a fruit bowl and it's just got apples in it. It's an apple bowl.
Yeah.
You got oranges in it only. It's an orange bowl. You have apples and oranges. That's a fruit bowl.
And if you got a lot of melon in there, that's a fruit cup. Absolutely
A
worthless.
Fruit cup. Fruit cups are the worst,
Yeah,
Mark.
it's terrible.
Because inevitably there's a bunch of like honeydew in
Yeah,
there.
that's what
And you want cantaloupe, and it's all honeydew.
They talk about that on 500.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants that in a fruit cup.
No.
Give me at least some strawberries,
Yeah.
maybe some boysenberries
Yeah.
or raspberries,
Yeah.
right? Stuff like that. Maybe a cherry or two.
You know
Not
why?
just a maraschino.
Seriously.
A real. Okay, what?
You know why there's honeydew in there? Because it's cheaper.
Well, we know why.
It's
yeah.
the same guy who decided to call us Casino Resorts World. They're idiots. They're saving a little money, but you're not happy. You're not happy with that fruit cup. I need a strawberry in there. I need cantaloupe, really. I like cantaloupe.
But no, cantaloupe's a melon too.
But I do like cantaloupe. Cantaloupe tastes better than those.
Cantaloupe is better than honeydew melon.
yeah.
I'll give you that, but it's still a melon.
Yeah, but you put a couple of cantaloupes, you put a couple of watermelons.
Pineapple,
you put pineapple.
strawberry.
Pineapple is important
Right?
for me. Yeah.
Okay.
We get a casino, we're going to have some special fruit cups. right?
That's right.
And when you order a shrimp cocktail, it's not going to be 3. Because you get to the third one, you're like, this is it?
Yeah.
You need like 6. So that on the 5th one, you're thinking, I'm going to hurl if I eat another shrimp.
That's the sign of a really good shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. When you get to the last one, you think, should I eat this or not? Because I might hurl. And then you eat it anyway.
Yeah.
Why not? You got to, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Next call.
Hey guys, just wanted to give you a trip report from Harrah's in New Orleans. All the tables were 25 and up, and that's a little too steep for my blood. So we tried out the roll to win craps, and my buddy's not new to craps, but he doesn't really know all the etiquette and what you should and shouldn't do. And when the dice got to him, I saw some gentleman on the other side of the table getting real mad and making a real big stink and saying stuff under his breath and cursing us. And I could not for the life of me figure out what was going on. So we started kind of exchanging words, and he said he's shooting from the dome. And I was thinking, oh no. And of course, 7 outcomes. Guy on the end of the table loses his mind, and we had a big shouting match. But anyways, just thought I'd give y'all a trip report. It was $25 minimums and really good drink service. And New Orleans is back at it. It's cracking. So, yep, that's about it. Y'all have a good time. Later.
All right, thanks. We've got another call about playing the don't coming up a little bit later. So let's table that conversation until we get to that one.
Okay.
You know what Mississippi Rob suggested today on Twitter?
Yes.
He's saying, hey, what about a Biloxi trip, maybe March or April? Next year, 2022, right?
That would be good.
So I said, we're definitely interested.
Yeah.
And we'll try to do maybe what we planned to do last time, hit New Orleans also.
Right.
Since we're down there, maybe a couple nights there and then drive over to Biloxi. So,
well, that's definitely probably doable. I'm going to say this about this call. We need to have an episode where we spend a lot of time discussing how you can be a $5 craps player and play at a $25 table.
Oh, that's a great topic.
And I can talk about that for hours.
Okay.
There are ways you can go up to a $25 table and play for quite a long time and not just make like one bet at a time and still stay within your, say, $200 budget. Or, well, maybe $500. Let's say $500 budget.
Okay.
But there are ways to do that. I just think people are intimidated because they don't think that can happen.
Sure.
And it can happen.
All right. I'll actually pencil that in for the next episode.
Yeah. Maybe, we could talk about, taking smaller odds or doing this bet or that bet, and what to stay away from that's going to drain your bankroll really quick and what's going to, get you there for a while.
Okay. I'm going to list that for our next show because that's a great topic, especially with these higher limits showing up at a lot of the casinos.
Right. And I think that may be here to stay for a while.
For a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Good.
The way the world is, everything's going up. I'm going to rank on that for a little bit. Food has gone up crazy.
Prices, you mean? Yeah.
Oh, prices are crazy.
Well, it's because gas is going up.
I know. Gas is going up, but food's going up. Wood is going up.
All right.
Everything is going up, and they're blaming it all on COVID.
All right. You came in here.
Hot. I'm hot.
You're a little hot. A little hot.
It is summer.
That's true. I am a little hot, actually, now that you mention it.
Hot.
Yeah. All right. Next up is John.
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. John from Boston here with a little bit of a trip report. Recently went down to Baha Mar in Nassau on a comp offer, and dice tables were anywhere from 15 to 25, although at night there was always one table that was completely shut down for a private high roller who was buying in usually anywhere from 50 to 100,000 for him and his guests with him. Tables were okay, nothing too great, nothing too lousy, nothing as far as all tall small or fire. But two interesting things I wanted to share as well. The night before going to Baha Mar, spent the night at Encore Boston before we flew out. I had the dice, and I was about to shoot, and there was someone who walked up to the table who never played the game. And one of the dealers was trying to teach him, okay, you have it first roll comes out as the point, and then thereafter you have to make it. Well, I threw the dice 11 times before a point was established. I owned the 2, 3, 11, 12, and 7. And it was funny. The dealer just looked at me and said, you're killing me. I'm trying to teach this guy how to play dice. Wondering if anything like that's ever happened to you where you saw a roller just incapable of making a point. And lastly, I wanted to share with you, you were talking about different superstitions, throwing the dice. Mine, when the table's going bad, I throw with my left hand. I'm a righty, do everything righty, but I thought I would share that with you. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it keeps bad, but if you want to try a new superstition, when the table's going bad, don't play the don't. Just throw with the other hand. Have a great day, guys.
All right, thanks, John. Yeah, I think a lot of players, if it's a cold table and it's just going really cold, will just try to throw the dice differently, however they want to do it.
Yeah.
Set the dice when maybe they weren't before. Yeah, left hand, that's a good way to do it.
Logically, that makes a lot of sense. And what else would you do, right? It's just people don't think it through, Mark. That's it. They just, I'll just keep using my same right hand.
Yeah.
I've got this lucky left hand here.
Right.
But I'm saving that.
Oh, come on. At least try.
No, I'm saving this.
No,
left
you got to
hand.
try.
I'm saving this for home use.
Sorry, folks. Now, he was talking about all those come-out rolls. We have had some big ones here. Adam, Travel Fanboy.
He had a huge one.
Had that huge one for you in Atlantic City.
I wish we had kept track of the actual rolls, but it was a huge come-out roll.
Yeah, it was. I think a lot of sevens, too.
That may be the best come-out roll I've ever seen.
For you, because you're betting all those prop bets.
Yeah.
Now, you told the story a few episodes ago about how you went up there, like in a weekday, and you weren't going to play that much, and you missed out on, just a ton of
That was
rolls.
a monster one, too.
Well, now on a recent episode of Cousin Vito's podcast, he said on a recent casino trip he took, He said like 20 times he rolled before he established a point. Now, I don't know if he was exaggerating, but Cousin Mikey was there too, and they were saying it was a good 20, 30 minutes before a point was even established, and it was mostly 7s and 11s.
Yeah, see, that would be a monster. I mean, I don't know what the limit on that table was, but I mean, it only takes me 4 7s to get to the max at Harris Rincon.
Right, which is what? For your hopping
$600.
all the 7s, right? So it's $600, so that's 3 bets of $200,
3 bets
correct?
of $200.
On each of the combinations, right?
Pays $2,600.
Right, yeah. All right, next call.
Hey guys, Mike from West Central Indiana. Call a little trip report from our Father's Day trip down to Caesars, Southern Indiana. We had a good time. Kids had a blast in the pool. Mother and father-in-law had a good time gambling, so that was nice. A nice little treat for them. Craps tables weren't too bad. They weren't completely dead like the last time I was down there. Hit fire bet once, 4 points to the fire bet, so nothing major, but a little payoff. Not too bad for $1. Played my hard ways like usual. I played 3 separate sessions and I was up and down and up and down. And then the last session I played, put those down a couple $100 for the weekend total and put $3 on the hard 8, hit it, parlayed that, hit it again back to back and $270 put me back even for my craft play for the weekend. So that was nice. As far as I'm concerned, break even's a W at the casino. So, and then played a little bit of slots with my wife and hit a nice little almost $2,000 hand pay on the Huff and Puff, which was cool. I don't play a whole lot of slots, but that was pretty exciting. Haven't had very many of those before, so because of that, they're doing a little giveaway jackpot frenzy for the Caesar rewards down there this next weekend. So since I got that hand pay, I got an entry into that, and it gives me an excuse to go back down this coming weekend and play. So I will try and call back in before the next show with a trip report, hopefully a winning trip report from this coming weekend. Love the show, guys. Keep it up.
All right. Well, we did not hear back from Mike, so hopefully it was a good trip.
Yeah, well, that's all you need, Mike, is that incentive to go back.
Yeah, really. Oh, you have to go back.
Yeah, you know, you tell your wife, I got an entry. I won't win, but I could. I got to go.
All right. Let's hear from William again.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is William from Fort Worth calling with a trip report. My wife and I went to Vegas on June 3rd, the Thursday, and then came back Sunday afternoon, the 6th. We had a great time in Vegas. Kind of one of the main thing we want to do is go down and see Circa. So on Friday morning, we got up. The only time you'll need a mask potentially is in a cab. A couple of cab drivers required them, but that was it. And you can get them at any right there by the at the entrance of the hotel and casino. So we did need one there. So we went downtown, started at Golden Gate, and they actually tier matched my 7-stars card. They said it would take a couple days, so I don't know how fast it happened, but I did check when we got home online, and it was their highest level. So that was good. I don't think it was probably based on our play either when we were there. So we played a little bit of craps, had $15 craps there. Nobody was hardly at Golden Gate. This is 10 in the morning, I think. We were going to go to D. I didn't realize Circle was right across the street. So we walked over there, and we could not have been more impressed with that place. It was awesome. My wife, of course, didn't really know what to expect. She was just thinking downtown. It's going to be trashy. It was so cool. We played slots. We got all new slots everywhere. Drink service was really good. The sports book is incredible. We ate at Victory Burger, which is right there at the left of the sports book, and exceptional meal. We actually didn't even get out to Stadium Swim. I know that's crazy. You never even saw it, but we played a lot of roulette there. I was going to play craps, but all the craps was $25, and basically nobody was playing. We were going to stay for an hour. We stayed all day at Circa. We couldn't leave. There was no reason to leave. But made a few sports book bets and watched some. You can kind of see what's going on in the sports book throughout the whole place. There was music going. It was just such an incredible vibe. And the Mega Bar is right by the roulette pit, which is right by the craps pit. It's just so open. The concept is really cool. Derek Stevens is there. We didn't talk to him or anything. Somebody just pointed him out. So I can't say enough. I can't wait to go back to Circa. It was really, really incredible. And we ended up at the Legacy Club. It's this rooftop bar because we needed more drinks at like 5 or 6 o'clock. But it's a really neat view of Vegas. We played a lot of roulette at the Cromwell. I don't like Caesar's gaming floor very much. It's always crowded, but Cromwell was great. Probably the most exciting story was we're playing roulette and the guy came and put $2,000 on black and it hit. And then I said, you going to let that ride? Because he wasn't picking it up. He goes, yeah, why not? So it's $4,000 on black. It did not hit though. And he just said, good luck to everybody. Yeah, Vegas is back. Vegas is awesome. Love it. Take care.
All right, another good review of Circa. And I'm glad William brought this up too, because I don't think we've mentioned it. The one card, which they use at Circa and Golden Gate and the D, they're tier matching. So, you go in with a diamond or a 7-star or any of the other, MGM properties or any card, and they will tier match you right there. So, yeah, we're going to take advantage of that when we go.
Yeah, one thing that he did mention in a follow-up is that he liked the name Circa because it was interesting because, the original was going to be Bob's Travel Trailer Hotel, and they went with Circa.
That is a little bit better, now that I think of it. I do remember that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it was going to be Bob's Travel Trailer.
Yeah. And
Come on out to Bob's.
And we thought, okay, that's not bad for a downtown casino.
Yeah, a little competition for Resorts World.
Yeah. I think Circa's better.
Yeah, I like Circa. Yeah. It's an interesting name.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, next call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is John in Austin, Texas. I love your show. You guys have taught me a lot about just casino gambling in general and craps specifically. I'm a new craps player, and I have a craps etiquette question for you. When I'm the shooter, the Midwesterner in me loves to look down the table and just kind of make sure that the people down at the other end have enough time to get their bets put in. And all the while, the dealer standing in front of me is kind of rolling their eyes and giving me that let's get a move on look. So what is the appropriate amount of time that I need to give the people down at the other end to put in their bets before I start throwing dice? I know it's on my end of it. I've had a lot of quick $25 ins before the dice come flying at my hands. What's your advice? Keep up the great work. Thanks.
All right. Good question, John. As a player, you are not responsible for waiting for other people to make their wagers.
No.
It is the responsibility of the other players, and it's the responsibility of the stick man to send you the dice once he and his crew are ready, and that he has seen that everybody has made their bets.
Well, and it's also your responsibility as a player when you hear the stick man say something like, and here they go, the dice are out, you're done. You don't make any more bets.
That's right.
You had your time, and you don't wait till he says they're out and he's passing them, and then you throw in a bet.
Right. So again, if you're a player who's not rolling, you don't have the dice, make sure you're making those bets when the dice are in the middle of the table, right? Not when the stick man is about to send them to the shooter.
Right.
And it's not hard to do. Well, every once in a while you get a stick person that's just too fast, and it does happen. But usually you've got plenty of time. A lot of the late bets that come in, it's not because they don't have time, it's because they're not paying attention.
Right. And if you're not paying attention, that's fine. If you're talking to the cocktail waitress or you're talking to your buddy, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But don't at the last second decide to throw something and you miss that roll.
Yeah, right. Once the dice are out,
yeah.
And then
they announce it. They always announce it.
If you're the shooter and the dice have been sent to you, that means it's time to roll.
Right.
You're not waiting on anybody. Now, if they're hands down in the middle of the table, okay, it's okay if you say, hey, I'm not going to roll. Look, people have their hands down. And the crew will understand that because that's a big superstition, right? Hitting of the hands, that kind of thing.
Unless you're you, and then you just aim for those hands.
I aim for those hands.
You aim
correct.
for those hands. You make them pay.
So, yeah, once you have the dice, it's time to shoot.
Oh, you mean you're not supposed to say... Is everyone in? Is everyone in? He would say it, everyone in. He finally got kicked out of the casino, thank God. Because I could not
for that.
Yeah, not for that. But I couldn't stand that. Are we all in? Is everyone in? Yeah, we're in. We all made our bets.
They sent you the dice.
Yeah,
we're in.
We're in. Go ahead and roll. I don't even know what that means. Roll them.
All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is David from NorCal calling in with a trip report. So, yeah, my wife and I spent the last couple of days in Vegas. We stayed over at the Planet Hollywood. We had a fantastic room up on the 20th story overlooking the Bellagio water fountain, so that was a lot of fun. Mask wearing was practically non-existent. Maybe between 2 and 5% of people we saw were wearing masks. It was 115 degrees, which meant when you were walking outside, it felt like you were burning. We love staying at Planet Hollywood. I'll have to say that those are the best morning and swing shift dealers you can get on the craps tables. Carl, Ron, Ken, Joe, Angus. They're awesome guys when it comes to dealing. We saw tables were anywhere from $15 to $25 during the day. Roll to wins were $5 and $10. The highlight of our trip was that even though we had booked reservations at a number of different restaurants every night, we missed every single reservation because we were just too busy on the tables.
Salute. That's
Friday,
excellent.
My wife and I both spent from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the tables. She was playing on the regular tables. She hit an all tall small.
She made people a ton of money, lots of high fives going around. People gave her first tips. I think she got about 300 in tips from folks who are on the all, tall, small. Myself, I was playing on the roll to win because I wanted to try it out, and it was working out well, plus the fact that they'll do all the math for you, and you don't have to place exact odds on it. So it was a lot easier for me when I was drinking. The best parts from there were there was a couple standing next to me who were just observing the game, had never played before. I got the wife to play. She ended up rolling 49 times before 7ing out, which is a monster roll. Everybody was excited for that particular one. I love the fact that the roll to win table will actually show that. For myself, my best was rolling 31. The low light was that I was in the middle of a hot roll on the last day, had 15 rolls with a number of hard ways, and the machine froze up. We all did get paid out, and I did double my money. The best piece, and now that I'm running out of time here, is that after 18 hours of on the craps table across 3 days, I was still only down $150. So looking forward to my next trip. Hope you guys are having a good one. Bye.
Good. Thanks for the stories,
Yeah, that's
David.
a great trip. That amount of time, be down to $150.
Yeah.
My God, that's cheap entertainment.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, my best roll was only 31 rolls." Hey, that's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, that's a pretty good roll. If I could have a 31 roll every fourth time I roll,
Every fourth time,
every
You'd be
fourth
happy
time,
with that?
I'd be happy with that.
We're going to second his comments, too, on the Planet Hollywood cruise. We love the dealers at Planet Hollywood.
Yes, I've never had a bad crew, really.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun to play there. And like you said during the call, kudos to them for, hey, you got a reservation? We're gambling.
Yeah.
Just skip it.
You're having a bad trip when you show up, we're an hour early. We'd like to, is there any chance we could get in? What? You're an hour early?
No, you'll have to just sit at that bank of slots right over there that says 80% payback.
And then we'll seat you when we're ready.
We'll call your name. David called back also to let us know that his wife was about to play roulette at Caesar's Palace, but he noticed it was a 000 game. So he talked her out of it. So
well, as
good
a husband,
for you, David, and his wife.
As a husband, that's taking care of your wife.
Yeah, definitely is.
Right.
All right, next up is Ken.
Hi, Dr. Mike and Mark. This is Ken from Southern Orange County. I was just calling because I'm a fan of your show, and I've been listening to it for about a month now. I had a crap story about how players treat other players on the craps table that play Don't Pass. I was in Vegas at Planet Hollywood. There's about 5 or 6 of us on the table. And, the table was going up and down, so the dice were getting passed along pretty quickly. And there was one guy on the other side of the table who, if he wasn't rolling, would always play Don't Pass, which to me wasn't a problem. No one else gave him a problem about it. Everyone on the table was pretty quiet because we weren't winning a lot or losing a lot. It was pretty steady up and down. And when he shoots, he plays pass. Now, I'm watching this guy, and he rolled 3 times, and all 3 times he never made a point. He 7'd out, maybe 5 rolls max. So I thought to myself, if the dice ever come back to this guy, I might as well play Don't Pass, just out of superstition or just the way the table was going. So the dice come around, and he gets to roll again, and I put a Don't Pass on the come-out roll, and this other player jumps in right before his come-out roll, puts all his money down and bets the pass. The guy rolls and gets the point. I don't remember what the point was, but the new guy who just bought in, he placed all the numbers. He pretty much spent his whole bankroll putting all these bets. And lo and behold, maybe 2 rolls later, the guy 7's out. And I win my Don't Pass. I had odds on it. And the new guy who pretty much lost his whole bankroll on that starts cussing at me. It's like it was my fault. Like I was cursing the table because I played the Don't Pass. And before I could explain to him why I played Don't Pass, he walked away, still grumbling at me. So I thought that was funny. I don't know what you guys think about that. Another thing I want to ask you guys talk about the fire bet, and when you guys get to the last point that you need, that you will sometimes put a lay bet. Let's say the last one is 5, and you will lay the 5, $1,500 to win $1,000 if a 7 comes out. And if you hit it, that's okay because you win $5,000 from the fire bet. Well, my question is, at that time, it's usually a hot roll, and I assume you guys have a lot of money out on the table anyway.
So I was just thinking, instead of putting a lay bet, what if you just turned off your bets? Because if a 7 comes out, especially for Dr. Mike, I'm sure the money on the table he has is probably more than 1,000 that he would get from the lay. And if you make the 5, even better, you don't lose anything and you get the fire bet, and then you can turn your bets back on if you want to. So I just was wondering what you guys thought about that. All right. Thanks for the show. I'll catch you guys later.
Before we get to that, Mark, I got to say, when Ken's telling this, I am laughing so hard inside because when the guy who thinks, he's going to play the don't, except when he rolls, he's lucky, so he's going to play the pass line. And then he has like 3 immediate 7 outs when he rolls. Yeah. What would you say to him? I know exactly what you would say. With a perfectly straight face, Mark would look at him and say, what went wrong?
What went wrong? What did you do wrong?
Yeah, what went wrong? What was the reason you immediately 7'd out? There must be a reason.
There were so many times this last week when I wanted to send it to that guy. He was keeping track of the rolls. He has
a little piece of paper. He's keeping track of all the rolls. He's going through this whole routine before he rolls. And he rolled, 2 or 3 times, and they were all immediate outs. Yeah. And Mark's just looking at me. What went wrong? I mean, he's keeping track. He must know what's coming up.
He's trying so hard. What went wrong?
If I wasn't afraid of being punched, honestly, I would love to just walk up to that guy. What went wrong? Seriously. But I'm afraid they're going to know I'm being a smart ass and punch me in the face.
If they don't take that tact, I think what they'll come up with some kind of excuse. Oh, it slipped out of my hand.
Did you see the dealer? He handed me a 3 and a 6. Yeah. Who hands you a 3 and a 6?
That's right. Talking about this player that got angry. I understand people who don't players. I mean, I understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand it. But to say something like, you cursed the table? Yeah. This was your fault? Right. If you really feel that way, bet the don't too. Yeah, if you think somebody has that much power.
Well, that's the exact same guy that I make a bet for the dealers and 7. Every time you make a bet for the dealers. That's right. Yeah, that's what did it. Yeah. Me making a bet for the dealers brought the 7 out. You remember that one guy once told me, well, the dealers are so unlucky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You make a bet for them, that brings 7 out. Yeah. Don't ever bet for the deal. What? It doesn't even make sense on so many levels.
Oh, my. That is just as stupid as saying that a particular dealer on the stick is unlucky. Yeah. Wouldn't you say that, Mike? Wouldn't you say that's correct?
Well, I'll tell you what. No, here's the difference.
Oh, okay.
He believes that he's right. I just have a superstition I just never seem to win with that guy. Now, I'm not saying that's his fault. I just have never had a good experience with that guy.
All right. Okay, so that's the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference. But he really believes. I know it's not true.
Yeah, okay.
But I feel like, why can't I win once with that person? This guy actually believes that betting for the dealer is bad, or that some guy betting on the don't jinx the whole table.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I believe you.
Now, with those people, I'd like to ask them a lot of real questions, real important things like, well, why do you think, we have this in the world and we have that?
No.
I mean, is there something that the world should be doing so we don't have these other problems?
You don't need the aggravation, Mike. Please don't engage these people.
I'd like to know their answers, Mark.
Well, Ken was talking about the fire bet here. We actually have been kind of having discussions lately about things that you can do when you're actually up on that 6th number. And the obvious thing is to lay against it.
Right.
On the recent one that you hit, one of the players says, well, I just don't take odds on the point. I always take odds, but I don't, when we're up on that 6th number. That's kind of like him
making money. So if the point doesn't come up, he didn't lose his odds.
He didn't lose his odds, right.
So it's like laying against it.
Now, what do you think about what Ken says? He's right.
I like his idea.
You just turn all your bets off? Do you think that's something that you could do?
Well, I'll tell you what, like on the last 6 that I had, I had a lot out there on the table.
Right? Oh, yeah.
I had several numbers way up there. I probably had over 10,000 on the table.
You think that much?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I had to eat it up afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, it was scary because I had a lot of things pressed up really high.
Yeah.
Remember, I just on odds on the point, I had 2,500.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it worked out okay because you did roll that 6th number.
Right.
But I kind of like Ken's suggestion because
turn everything
turn
off.
Your bets off. 7 comes up. Okay,
you didn't lose anything.
You didn't lose, and if you're talking $10,000, that's like a win for you.
Yeah.
Plus, you still won 5 to the fire. You're going to get something.
No,
there. I like it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And how long do you do that for?
Well,
though?
that's the question.
See, let's
right.
say
Yeah,
your last
sure.
point happens to be a 10, like yours was
Yeah,
at one
right.
time, and you hit it right back.
Mhm.
But you know, what if it went 2 rolls, 3 rolls, 4 rolls, and you know, you've been making 6s and 8s, and you're thinking, oh my God, I've lost.
Yeah, look at how much I haven't won as a
I
result
haven't
of
won,
turning it.
right,
Sure,
right.
sure. Well,
I
that's
didn't lose any,
Yeah.
but I haven't won
That's
any
the flip
either.
side to it, yeah.
That's the flip side. So honestly, for me right now, I don't care how much I have on the table.
Yeah.
I just keep my bets all the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
You make it or you don't.
Yeah, you've hit the fire
You know?
bet enough now that
Yeah, if you
it's-
make it, I'm happy, and if you don't make it, well, that's just the way it went.
Yeah.
How many times do you see me turn my bets off?
it's not very often.
It's
Boy,
not very often.
yeah.
The dice go off the table. I don't care. Just pick
Yeah,
them up and
sure,
roll them
sure,
again. You know,
sure.
I mean, you have to be comfortable with losing.
Right.
If you're not comfortable with losing, you should not be gambling.
That's the smartest thing you've said on this show.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
if you're not comfortable with losing, don't gamble
Yeah.
because you're going to lose at points. So, you know, you have to decide, you know, am I comfortable? Now, if you got 10,000 out there, you say, well, I'm not comfortable losing 10,000, turn your bets off.
Yeah, right.
Right, take
Yeah,
them down.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is AJ from San Francisco. Just want to talk about a Father's Day trip to Reno. Stayed at the Grand Sierra Resort and also went to the Silver Legacy. Looks like they got rid of the all tall, all small bonus. They got these repeater bonus where if you hit a point a few times, it pays out pretty good. First night, I bet the 2 and 12, $5 each. And luckily, some guy rolled a 2 twice. Pays out 40 to 1. So that was a good payout right there. I want to say the second day, in the morning, on my roll, I kept hitting the 9 and 10. And those payouts were pretty nice. Third day, we took the kids to Circus. And it sucks they don't have any tables there anymore. So I headed over to Silver Legacy. The table was pretty hot, actually. I remember on your last show, we were talking about betting the hard ways and parlaying it. So that's what I did. I had a 5 on the hard 6. Guy hit it. Got up to 50. Put the 50 on the hard 6. Hit it again. Paid $4.50. But what I did was instead of parlaying that, I just pressed another 50. So I had a $100 hard 6. But he hit it the soft 5-1. It's all good. I was able to pocket $400 off of that roll. Fun trip. Thanks for the show. Listen to your podcast every time I commute. Keep up the good work, guys.
Good. Thanks for the report. I looked at Circus's website, Reno, Circus Reno, and they still had their table games section, but it said temporarily closed.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's true.
No,
and that the
it's like the bank next to my office. It's been temporarily closed since March 2000.
Yeah.
Going to reopen. Temporarily closed.
All right. So
Yeah,
you don't
same.
expect those
Don't
to come
expect
back.
those tables ever coming back. They make more money on slots.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
know what
it's
you're
just
saying.
an
Sure.
excuse. We're a world of excuses now.
Yeah.
I didn't use my lucky hand. I didn't, we're temporarily closed.
I'm glad he was talking about the 2 and 12 on the repeater because now when you play the repeater, you're generally betting all of them. You know, you
Yes.
like a lot of action.
Right.
If I were betting, and again, I'm not a side bet better, but if I did, just bet on the 2 and 12.
Right.
Right. Because they only have to hit twice
Right.
each, they're two
Right.
separate bets.
Right.
They only have to hit twice. 40 to 1. It's not a good bet, but rather than put money on all the numbers,
Right.
which is going to drain pretty quickly unless you hit a 6 or an 8 or
Look
something
at it
along
this
the way.
way. If you're a come better or a place better and you're placing all the numbers or something, you don't have any money on 2 and 12 anyway.
Right.
That's your money on 2 and 12.
Yeah, you
right?
can't do it
you
on
put
2 and 12.
$5 on
Yeah.
2, $5
Unless you're at a
on
crapless
12.
craps table. Yeah.
Right. And so, if they happen to come up, you win money. If 5 comes up, you're winning money on your 5 bet there, right?
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah, if you're not going to take them all, I suggest taking the outside numbers.
Yeah, 2, 12, maybe 2, 3, 11, 12.
Yeah,
that's
maybe
what
2,
you're
3,
thinking.
11,
yeah.
12, yeah.
And like you said,
sometimes it's great, like on one of those come outs, like we were talking earlier, where some guy rolls, 2 12s on the come out before he even made a point. You've already won, $200.
Yeah, good. All right, next call.
Hi, guys. This is Darth Vader from Austin, Texas. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Passed through Shreveport, Louisiana this past weekend and saw something at the El Dorado that I've never seen before. The shooter was the type that liked to play with the dice prior to rolling. Specifically, he would toss the dice several times directly in front of him. Not sure if he was looking for the point to show or get the 7 out of the way. Anyway, during one episode of his pre-rolling ritual, the stickman abruptly called out 4, easy 4. As the dice were still on the felt directly in front of the shooter, everyone at the table just stared in confusion. The stickman explained that the shooter had rolled the dice forward, albeit just a few inches, and it was their policy to call any forward roll as a valid roll. He cautioned the shooter to make any pre-rolls backwards instead of forwards. Thankfully, this was not the come-out roll, and no one had wagers on the harbor. So, from a wagering standpoint, this was a non-event and received no complaints from the players. Nonetheless, I was very surprised at this policy, as I thought that the general rule was that any roll that didn't at least pass the stickman was called a short roll and not valid. As is, this policy could be exploited by an advantaged player. Anyway, love the show. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, I don't know about this policy, if that really is the policy. Any forward roll they're going to call.
I mean, I guess that could be a policy, but a lot of times if you pick the dice up and you accidentally drop one and it goes forward, they just call no roll.
Yeah, right.
They don't say, well, here, now roll the other one.
Yeah, right.
That's a forward roll.
Right. I've never heard of anything like this.
He's probably just annoyed with the guy being a
That's
doofus.
what I'm thinking is maybe the dealer is just kind of doesn't like how much time he's fiddling with the dice. And so he makes his call to make a point.
Once again, if I wasn't afraid of being punched, I would walk up to that guy who's playing with the dice before he rolls and just, what are you looking for? I mean, are you looking for a certain combination? Because I can never figure that out. I always try and guess. I see, he's trying to get, the point. He's trying to find an 8 in there or something. But then they just pick up two weird dice.
Sometimes it's clear.
Sometimes
they'll stop once they've, hit a pair or, something like that. Or something like that. But yeah, I noticed that too. It's like, okay, he's doing it 3 times. No, now he's doing it 4 times. Wait, what is he looking for?
Yeah, and you don't even know what they're looking for. I just want to know, what are you looking for? Now, if I knew he wasn't going to punch me, I'd ask.
Yeah.
But I can't guarantee that.
I don't know. I'm guessing maybe this isn't the policy at the casino. Because you're right. Yeah, they want the dice not only to go at least halfway down the table, but to hit the back wall. That's the whole point, right?
If they seriously believe any forward roll, I'd just pick the dice up and just push them to hard 6.
Right. See how long they put up with that.
6, 8 in a row. Wow. Parlay. That's not their rule. The guy was just mad.
Yeah. Now, I almost didn't play this call.
Yeah.
Because it was from Darth Vader. And Darth Vader was responsible for the death of billions, maybe trillions.
Well, what really got me about Darth Vader is when he was Anakin Skywalker, he killed all those Jedi in training. Those were little kids.
Why?
A whole planet, the little kids.
I don't see why we celebrate this character. He was evil. He's on T-shirts.
Yeah.
Right? I remember they made phones out of him. Do you remember they had old Darth Vader phones? And,
right.
Things like that. This was an evil, evil person.
Yeah, well,
I finally talked myself into playing the call.
At the end, he did go back to being the good Anakin.
Is that good enough, though, for all the deaths?
He did commit a lot of deaths. Yeah. But, he was also under the control of the Emperor. The Emperor's the real evil guy.
Yeah, I agree.
The Emperor was the real evil guy.
I'd agree with you that it's okay at the end when the trilogy originally came out, but then, when they messed with the Return of the Jedi and suddenly Hayden Christensen shows up as the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I may not play another call from Darth Vader. We'll see. We'll see what the next call's like. All right, next call.
Hi, this is Jess from San Francisco, just calling in with some trip reports. I got to play craps for the first time since Nancy maybe 3 weeks ago in upstate New York at the Resort World Catskills. And it was just a very blessed event. I played first in the bubble machine while I was waiting for the table to open up, made like $80. And then the table opened and I played and I made $280. And I'm a pretty low roller, so that was most excellent for me. Now I am at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, and it's a wild world out there. They lifted the mask requirements, so it's my first time in a building with no masks, which is pretty crazy. The tables are packed. It's a Friday night, and it was $15 tables, and I happened upon a super hot roll, and I had been down and then ended up, which was amazing. I watched this guy hit the repeater bet on the 11 twice and the 8 all in one roll. Pretty incredible. It's been a really fun time, if not a little startling, just to be inside without masks. But I had a great time and just want to let you guys know. Thanks. I love your show.
It's, it's fun to be back, right?
Right.
It's not quite completely normal, but yeah, it's a good feeling. You can hear that
It's
in
funny,
Jess's
though,
call.
to hear somebody say they were a little uneasy. They were inside with a lot of people who weren't wearing masks. I mean, 3 years ago, would you ever thought you're going to hear somebody say, I was inside and nobody was wearing a mask?
Yeah.
It's weird how our world
kind of how
has
Comic-Con
changed.
is every year. It's like packed
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You're at Comic-Con. I was inside with a lot of people wearing masks. And there was this one guy didn't have anything on his head.
All right, let's hear from our buddy Todd.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Todd Goddess from Minnesota here with a 360 Vegas Vacation 10 report. Gambling went extremely well for me. However, I didn't do very much of it. Conditions for the low roller like myself are still pretty bleak. Even Golden Gate on Sunday night was at $15 for craps. I rarely saw anything on the strip for less than $15. Even Excalibur, which has been my low roller $5 haven for many years, was at $15, even at their crapless craps table. Ugh. Luxor even had a $20 minimum for craps. And if the minimums weren't too high, there just weren't a lot of tables open yet. I think everyone is short-staffed. But I did hit my first Royal Flush for $1,000 at Central Bar at Luxor the final night, which was a great finish for the trip for me. Hopefully the casinos get more staff soon and are willing to lower their limits, or else I'm going to have to learn to enjoy bubble craps or stadium gaming. Thanks.
All right. Well, congratulations on your first Royal. Of course, ours is coming.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But congratulations. Yeah. Tim Lawson said on his show that it took him and the group he was with 3 hours before they could find a craps table on the strip with low enough limits for everyone.
That's crazy.
Now, I mean, they were stopping and probably having drinks along the way, but still 3 hours. And then when they did find a table at Paris, apparently it was like ice cold, right? So it's kind of miserable.
That's why we got to have this talk about playing higher limit tables with a lower bankroll.
All right, very good.
It is possible, and we're not. I'm going to say this right up front. That doesn't mean you're going to win.
No, of course not.
I'm just saying that you can't,
being able to last a while.
You
on
can
the
last a
tables
while.
first,
Yeah.
All right, next call.
Mark, Dr. Mike. This is Bert from Virginia, just calling in to give you guys a mini trip report and ask you a question. Just got back from Biloxi. Had a pretty decent trip, up and down a lot on the tables, but I called because I saw something at a craps table I've never seen before. It was a $10 table at one of the larger casinos. There wasn't a small casino, but they had a minimum buy-in of $100, which I thought was sort of weird. I'm like, what if you have just $50, you want to go up and take a shot at it? I guess you couldn't play. And they had it on the sign, posted on the table, minimum buy-in $100. Just wonder if you guys have ever seen anything like that at any other casinos. Enjoy the show. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks.
Yeah, we have never personally seen that, but on one of our episodes, the guys from the 99% Craps podcast called in, and they said they saw a table at the Palace Casino in Biloxi that required a $200 buy-in. Now, I don't know if Bert was at the Palace when he saw this, but I guess it's a way to prevent people from playing low limits. I don't know, Mike.
I don't get the idea from a casino standpoint. They're just turning away business.
Yeah, you would think.
I mean,
so,
I don't care if it's the best place in the world. Why not get that guy's $100?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you turn him away? I don't get it.
We'll see if that goes away or if it becomes a trend. But we certainly haven't seen it ourselves yet.
I can't see that becoming a trend. It just doesn't make sense from a business standpoint.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
And unless you have a high limit table and you don't want your high limit players bothered by some guy buying in.
I don't know about that. I think this.
But most guys aren't going to buy in. You go to most people go to a table and they see a bunch of really big, people playing with $500 chips. They don't buy in.
Yeah,
they're intimidated.
I'm thinking this is more a result of the pandemic and that it's going to go away.
Maybe.
Like, we didn't see it until.
Yeah, we never heard of that before.
Maybe it's related. I don't know. All right, last call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Matt from New Jersey, longtime listener but first-time caller, calling with a trip report from the Borgata in Atlantic City. My wife and I did a Sunday, Monday overnight trip for her birthday. Neither of us had ever been to Atlantic City, and it was actually only our second time in a casino. We'd gone to Las Vegas a couple of years ago. We really weren't sure what to expect, but the property was really nice. We stayed in the Fiore Suite, which had great views of both the marina and the boardwalk and the ocean. We checked in and actually went to the boardwalk on Sunday to check that out. Not exactly like Vegas, but saw the world-famous Steel Pier. It was all right, and checked out a couple of the other casinos. We then headed back to the Borgata, went to a comedy show that Sunday night, pretty cheap, $20. Had a good time. No masks anywhere in sight, no dividers, anything like that. So that was really nice. We're vaccinated, so felt safe. Monday morning, my wife had a spa appointment for her birthday, and so I took that time to go to the casino. Went to the craps table at 10:45. It was completely full, $10 minimum with 3, 4, 5 times odds. I waited about 10 minutes and then was able to get on. I bought in with $500 and played the pass line with max odds and then won a come-up bet with additional max odds. Played for about an hour until the wife was done at the spa, and it actually went really well. I cashed out with $11.55, so my first ever win. No one got really, really hot, but some points were definitely made. There wasn't a ton of excitement around the table, and I think that's because most of the action seemed to be on the horn bets and the hard wave. The guy next to me was playing $2 high-low every single roll, but didn't put any odds on the pass line, so thought that was kind of surprising. But we had a great time. I mean, Atlantic City clearly isn't Vegas, but for a 2-hour drive, it works for us, and definitely planning on being back. I would love to hear your guys' take on Las Vegas versus Atlantic City and what you're hearing. You know, we've only been to each one once, but had a good time at both. So keep up the great work. Really appreciate it, and talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, they're a little different, really.
Yeah, well, they are. And I mean, we've been to Atlantic City only twice.
Right.
But it's harder for us to get to, obviously. I mean, that's a big thing for us.
But you only have to go once to really know it's different.
Yeah.
It's not the same as Vegas because it seems like Atlantic City's more for gamblers.
Definitely, sure.
Right?
And
there's fewer choices of restaurants and entertainment type stuff. It's more for gamblers.
And it's more for day trips.
Yeah.
You know, you're coming from New York or whatever, you go for the day, you know,
especially in the
It's
winter months when you're not going to be sitting on the beach because it's just freezing cold.
It's not a vacation destination like Las Vegas is.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be if you're into gambling.
Absolutely.
And you want 7 days of, in a casino. But if you want to do a lot of other stuff, well, like, for instance, you go to Vegas. One of my patients was just telling me last week that they went to a thing in Vegas where you got to drive large equipment.
Oh yeah, they have like big construction equipment and stuff. Yeah,
like a huge earth mover or a crane or something. These big, and she got the biggest kick out of that.
I'll bet.
You're not going to get that in Atlantic City, right? And I'm like, there's a lot of, you can drive sports cars, you can drive race cars, you can drive all, you can go to that place where you shoot guns like heavy ammo guns and stuff like that. So whatever, there's something for you in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah, and sure, Vegas, the restaurants and the shows and that kind of thing.
Right. I mean, you name what you want. You want to do virtual parachuting? It's in Vegas. Whatever you want, you can find in Vegas.
For gamblers, if we lived on the East Coast, we probably wouldn't go to Vegas that often.
No, because we're only interested in gambling.
Right.
So Atlantic City would suit us fine.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
There's enough casinos there that we could go from place to place.
Yeah.
They're fairly close to each other.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. The boardwalk there, sure, doesn't take long to get from one to the other. Yeah. So
I was laughing when Matt said, his wife was getting her spa for her birthday, so he went to the tables. And, for me anyway, when I'm there, like at Caesars, my wife and girls go get their nails done or they go shopping, I go to the tables. For once, I'd like somebody to call in and say, my husband was over, checking out the new Makita table saw at Home Depot. So I took advantage and went, and played, roulette.
Went to the tables,
Went to the tables. I'd love for some woman to call in.
Please do. I can think of some women.
Yeah. Oh, I know some women.
So let's get some calls of that. Yeah. The husband was.
The husband was checking out the new table saws at Home Depot, so I headed to the casino.
That would be great. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring PayPal donations: Brian Dancer, Brian and Sarah, Josh, James, and the Color Up Craps YouTube channel. Thank you very much for those donations.
Oh, by the way, I should say sorry, James, about the New York Islanders.
Yeah,
he's a big Islanders fan because he lives there, and they lost and didn't make it to the Stanley Cup. But they had a good team.
Yeah, well, and the Golden Knights too, right? Who would have thought that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Montreal
came. Montreal's getting their butt kicked.
Well, now they are. Now that they're there, yeah. And thank you to Mike for a donation. He said, a karma donation for a trip to Wendover with some fellow officers I work with. Hope this finds its way to a hard 8. Oh, and, Mike actually emailed us, too. I think this trip was just this last week, so hopefully they did very well.
Hope they did very well.
Yeah. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings, and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. I've added a few movies here recently. It's amazing how many I still am able to find.
Yeah.
I think we've got the most definitive list of gambling/Las Vegas movies anywhere. And it's not complete.
Yeah.
Because I keep finding more, but honestly, I think we've got the best list. There are hundreds of movies there.
So if somebody
that
wants to know every movie that contains gambling, we're the go-to.
We'd be the first stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. Dr. Mike, what do you got?
Well, I thought maybe this episode you would come up with something.
Oh, really?
At the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you're putting me on the spot right
Yeah,
here.
I'm putting you on the spot.
All right. Well,
Tell me about the lucky horseshoe up your
All right, I'll just say this. So I've always been very meticulous about keeping track of my gambling wins and losses, right?
Extremely. Not very
all right,
meticulous.
well,
extremely.
A couple years ago, I took it to the next level and have this big Excel file with all these different sheets in it with everything.
Color-coded and everything.
And there's one that gets kind of printed out almost like it's some business report, right? Some
Right.
quarterly report.
Oh, there are multinational corporations that could take clues from you.
So you looked at this a couple of years ago. You said, Mark, I want you to send this to me every quarter.
Worst mistake of my life. Worst mistake of my life. It's my one single biggest regret.
Yesterday was the end of the quarter, and I thought to myself, should I really send it to him? Am I going to be rubbing it in by sending this to him? I thought, he asked for it. I have to send it to him.
If every horse who had ever ran a horse race took off all four of their horseshoes and combined them, it still wouldn't be as big as the horseshoe you've got crammed up your butt.
It just
Oh my God.
it hasn't stopped. I mean, you mentioned this a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And even since then, this is quite a run.
crazy.
Yeah, it's quite a run.
It's the hottest run I've ever seen anyone on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if you were betting like you could. Now.
Okay.
But you haven't increased. You're
No.
still betting like you're down for the year.
Yeah,
instead of, upping your bets. I mean, and that's smart.
Well, because I know that,
'cause it
losing
can
streak's
turn on
coming.
It can turn on in a moment's notice. But you are so incredibly hot.
Yeah.
It is. You rolled another 5 this last week.
Oh yeah, I did.
You rolled another 5. I mean, we had a week of you rolled a 5 and a 6. The next week I roll a 6. You rolled another 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy how hot you are.
Yeah.
And it didn't help me all that much.
Well,
But it's
here's the thing, and this is why I've been so lucky. Like I said, I've been betting the don't when the other side of the table is rolling, and that has helped me in that it's kind of kept me even. I'll be honest with you. The don't, it's not like I'm winning a ton of money on the don't, but I'm avoiding those bad rolls.
You're avoiding the bad rolls. It's not that you've hit every roll perfectly. You've avoided a lot of bad rolls.
Right.
So I go up and then I get a bad roll and I go way down and then I have to work my way back up and you stay even. You go up,
right.
Then you stay even.
Then I stay
Then we
even.
get another big roll. You go up, you stay even.
That's my timing has been incredible because I don't miss out on the really big rolls. I'm always betting, the right way, pass line and come bets and that thing when the big roll comes. Like
Right.
when I rolled the
Right.
5. So
I mean, it's
yeah,
just been
I agree.
fortunate that you're always there for the big roll and not there for the bad rolls.
Yeah.
I would say, you could write a book, but really, and be perfectly honest, it's just been fortunate luck.
Oh, it's just luck. I
Yeah.
know it is. That's why.
It's been
that's why I
fortunate
just said
luck.
I'm not changing the way I bet because I know that losing.
So for
streak's
all
coming
you
in.
people out there, who some guy gives you grief on the don't and everything, just say, "Oh, give Mark a call." Just give him our number, have him call Mark, and he'll explain to you why he plays the don't.
Yeah.
because it really has helped you.
Yeah, we'll get another call like we did a long time ago where Hello? I didn't realize this was a voicemail record. I wanted to talk to. I've got a question. I need to talk to somebody
right now. Pretty soon, we have the definitive list of movies. We're going to have to get a live line where you can actually call.
Oh, well, that's once I retire, right? Yeah,
right.
It's a hotline.
Yeah, I got a question about blah 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 blah.
What are the best Keno numbers? All right, do you have a pencil? All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
El Cajon? That's the anus of San Diego.